to Sportsline, everybody. We are wide open as we get set for Sunday morning in London. The Tennessee Titans take on the LA Chargers at Wembley Stadium in London, England. You can watch the game over on NewsChannel 5. Our Titans Tackle London special begins at 7:30 a.m. Steve Lehman from Wembley Stadium in London will be on the air, and we will get a preview of the game between the Titans and Chargers. Very excited for this game coming up. So get up early with us Sunday morning, 7:30. Check out our special, and then watch the pregame coverage from CBS, and then right into the game between the Titans and Chargers. 8:30 kickoff in the morning on Sunday from Wembley Stadium in London. That's part of a 3-game triple header that we'll have for you on News Channel 5. So football all morning, all afternoon, into the evening. What could be better than that on a Sunday? So the Titans practice today. They will practice again tomorrow, and then late tomorrow afternoon they will board a charter and head across the pond to London to get ready for Sunday's game. A lot of teams do these trips differently. Some like to spend the entire week there to get acclimated. Some teams like to go later in the week and make it more of a business trip. Again, the Titans leaving tomorrow afternoon. They'll get into town in London early Friday morning, our time, and then they'll have a number of different things they'll try to do. Get a practice in. They'll have some media obligations and the like. Excuse me. And then the players will be free to kind of explore London and kind of enjoy themselves, have dinner and walk around and get ready for a walkthrough on Saturday and then the game on Sunday. And the Titans could really use a win over the Chargers. Not going to be easy. The Chargers off to a 4-2 start. Good football team led by their ageless quarterback Phillip Rivers, who's still getting it done at an advanced age. And so the Titans, of course, coming off 2 straight losses. And they got to get their offense going. They haven't scored a touchdown since Corey Davis's touchdown grab in overtime to beat the Eagles a couple of weeks ago. So let's see what's cooking with Brian on line 1 before we hear from head coach Mike Vrabel. Hey, Brian.
Oh, hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, man. What's up?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, hopefully jet lag might do something. Aren't those Rams undefeated?
Well, first of all, they're the Chargers, and they're 4-2. You're thinking of the other LA team. The Los Angeles Rams are Los Angeles.
It was Rams, your producer, but I guess it's the Chargers.
No, it's the Chargers. Don't listen to him. Listen to me.
But they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're
pretty
4.
Good
yeah,
too,
the Chargers are 4-2. They're very good. They're playing good ball right now. They got a really good running back in Melvin Gordon. They've got a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback in Phillip Rivers, who's still getting it done. So it's going to be a tough test. And you know, the Titans need to get their offense going, and that's if they don't get their offense going, it could be a long day.
Right. Real quick though, real quick. Are there 3 pro teams in Los Angeles now?
No, 2.
There's 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Well, when you go to London, you know, that's a long thing. Plus, the Titans are 3-3. Everybody's saying they're so terrible, but they're still co-leaders of their division. And, you know, the other team's only 4-2. So, plus that jet lag, hey, anybody, it could be anybody's game.
You're so right, Brian. You had something else?
All you got to do is block and maybe get the running game going a little bit. And then I think you could do okay. I don't know.
All right, well, we'll find out together. Thanks for the call, Brian. Let's hear from head coach Mike Vrabel, who spoke to the media today after practice.
For fixing the sacks, trying to limit those and tighten things up, does it come down to Marcus making faster decisions?
Comes down to everything, Teresa, like it does with all the things that we don't do very well. After the game, it comes down to coaching it better, practicing it better, executing it better. And it's those guys that are out there on the field, it's those 11 working together to make the call work and make the offense work or the defense work or the coverage unit work.
Good to have Kenny back out there today?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's good to have everybody back. You know, we're trying to get everybody back. Health of our team is critical, and so you know, we're trying to get everybody back, and it's good to have Wood back and everybody else, and Benny and everybody else that, you know, wasn't able to play in the game.
You've talked about guys not being able to have it both ways on social media, particularly after games, good and bad. What's your general advice to guys about how to be on there or whether to be on there?
Yeah, and I think that you know, the first thing is it's the having it both ways is about just your overall attitude of how you come to work every day, how you are around your family, and sometimes that's not easy, you know, win or lose, that we're consistent and that we have an approach each week. The social media, you know, listen, it's not going anywhere. I mean, everybody has it. Phones, cell phones. I mean, my nephew was in town. I think he's 8 years old. He's got a cell phone. He's got an iPhone. So everybody has them. Everybody has a social media account. And however active or inactive you are, you know, listen, we always want to promote the team, promote your teammates, whatever charitable causes that you have. It's a great avenue to our fans to help grow this game. You know, and then it's not a place to sit there and debate as far as where I'm concerned or our players or anybody else. Because what social media has done is it's made everybody an analyst. Back when I played, there were just TV reporters and there were newspaper writers, and that's were the only analysts. Now, anybody with a cell phone and an app can be an analyst. And so I don't think that we need to try to defend whatever we're doing or not doing on social media.
How did you guys arrive at the decision to practice here for 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and then board Thursday night?
I don't have a passport yet. My passport doesn't get here till tomorrow, so we had to wait. It's not true. No. We wanted to try to keep everything as normal as possible. We have a great facility here. I know how guys like to sleep in their own beds. They like to see their wives. They like to see their kids. That's part of their routine. And so I felt like after talking to some people, you know, you could do it either way. You can go over there and you could spend a week over there. You could arrive Friday morning. And we're excited. I mean, we're talking about packing and, you know, making sure that we're ready to go, and we're going to leave after practice, and we're going to have a good practice here, and we're going to land, and we're going to try to do some things to keep guys up, you know, and then we're going to get into our Friday practice, and then we're going to let them go to dinner or go see whatever, the downtown or London or whatever it may be, just like they would be here and go to a Friday night dinner with friends or family or teammates.
Rivers has been particularly exceptional this season. I mean, he's a good quarterback over the course of his career, but are you seeing any difference in the way that he's playing from years past?
I'm really not. If not anything, maybe the ball's coming out quicker. I haven't studied him since really a few years ago. We played him when we were in Houston, when I was in Houston, and, you know, the ball's really coming out quick. It's amazing release. It's somewhat unorthodox, but it's quick and it's very accurate.
West Coast teams have come out like this. They're getting the ball out so quick. How do you?
Well, I think you try to rush. You try to disrupt them in the middle of the pocket. You try to get your hands up because you can hopefully try to disrupt the ball at the line of scrimmage, and then understand that, you know, the backs are going to have a lot of targets. You know, they've got, you know, they've thrown it to him 40 times as Gordon. They've handed it to him 91 times. So we understand that he's going to be a big focal point of what they do. Eckler's a big part of what they do. Allen, they got big receivers, and then they have a tight end that's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
West Coast teams have talked a lot about the disadvantage of playing on the East Coast. Early noon starts for us would be, you know, maybe 9 o'clock in their body clock. No matter how early they come or whatever, that it's just kind of unnatural and puts them at a disadvantage. How do you combat whatever might be happening in terms of what amounts to an 8:30 start for you guys?
Well, I think we try to get over there and stay up. You know, stay up from the time that we land. We land at 6:30, and we're going to go through customs. We'll get to the hotel, have breakfast. We've set up a little weight room. We're going to try to lift. We're going to, you know, walk through the countryside or whatever the hotel area is, or just to try to get our legs going a little bit, grab a cup of coffee, and then go into our meetings at 10:30 and see if we can plow through till, you know, 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock. I mean, we got curfew at midnight, but I don't think there'll be too many people hanging around at midnight still up. And then, you know, we'll see. But everybody has the same, you know, we're all doing the same thing. I mean, the field's going to be the same. The time change is going to be the same. The start time is going to be the same. So that all depends, you know, how we play and how they play.
Have you stressed just the importance to the players of sleeping on the campus with, you know, scheduling that Friday?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll talk about that again tomorrow. You know, it's a beautiful plane, and these guys will be able to lay down in the pods or whatever it is, and hopefully be able to get, you know, 6 to 8 hours of sleep on the way over.
I usually do sleeping on a plane.
You know, I don't fit in a plane as easy as probably some people, but I'll be okay. You know, take some NyQuil, some Tylenol PM or whatever, and just try to get a couple hours. You know, we'll have to get ready for practice as we get on the plane. We'll have to get ready for the next day's practice and just do some cards and things like that. So that should keep us up for, you know, an hour or so, and then hopefully, you know, we can get something to eat and get some sleep.
Logistically, how difficult to plan for your equipment guys and everything?
You know, these guys have done a great job. You know, they sent a big cargo ship over in the summer and packed a lot of stuff up. You know, Haas and Joey, his staff, and Brent, our ops staff, has done a great job as far as the preparation and the planning, the hotel, everything that you could possibly think of, they've done. And so we've just kind of set the schedule, and they've kind of run with it. But, you know, we'll pack our bags up after practice. They'll load them up on a plane underneath, and that stuff will pass through, you know, customs and be there ready to go for us to practice at 10:30.
That Chargers offense has connected big plays to both the Williams receivers. Is that a matter of Whisenhunt dialing up the big, or what is it behind that?
Well, again, I don't know if I've talked about this with you last week, but I try to express to our team that when you look at every X-play around the league, you find out about 70% of them are players and 30% of them are scheme. And that you look at a play and you're like, wow, that was a good scheme. A guy's wide open, or they, you know, they got a kind of a little rub route, or they knew what the coverage was, and they ran something that took advantage of it. The other 70 is, you know, a guy going to make a play, a running back that makes somebody miss, a receiver that jumps up and catches the ball over somebody, a quarterback thrown into a tight window. And that's what it comes down to in this league is 70% of the time, you know, they launch it down there and Williams made a play on somebody. That's what happened last week. They ran a check down to Gordon, and he breaks a tackle, and he runs 20 yards down the sidelines for an explosive gain. So, and then there's other times where, you know, you're like, oh, wow, that's a good scheme play. Like, we have to be conscious of that. So, you know, there's a balance between those X plays, and more times than not, it's good players either defending them or going to make them.
Have you stressed to the players this week about the importance of representing the city, representing the Titans brand when you go to London?
Well, I hope we try to do that all the time. But obviously when we're going to another country, we've talked about making sure that we're very respectful of going to another country, and when we're passing through customs, that, you know, these people have a job to do, that they're going to ask them questions like, why are you here? What do you have with you? And it's not just a normal charter. I mean, we have our normal charters are you know, somewhat relaxed. I mean, it's a familiar crew that runs those. And so this isn't that. And they need to understand that. I need to relay that to them again and explain that to them, that you know, we're guests of Virgin Atlantic, and we're going to another country to pass through customs, and that we have to turn our electronics on. If they ask you to turn your phone on or your iPad on, you know, it's not, you know, what do you think? It's, you know, we just don't need any conversation. We just need to turn our electronics on and get through customs and get to practice.
Head coach Mike Vrabel speaking to the media today after practice as his team gets ready to board a plane tomorrow afternoon to head to London. They will take on the Chargers at Wembley Stadium. Again, you can watch it, the game on News Channel 5. Kickoff just after 8:30. Make sure you tune in an hour earlier at 7:30 for our Titans Tackle London special. Steve Lehman reports from London at Wembley Stadium to get you ready for the game. We come back, we're going to hear from the Ocho, Marcus Mariota. What do the Titans have to do to finally get their offense going? We search for answers next. Stay with us.